Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So yes, the Emmys were on Sunday night, and as is tradition here on my channel, I'm going to be diving into my thoughts, feelings, reactions, emotions to the winners and losers of the night. So if that sounds fun to you guys, then of course stay tuned. And as per usual, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you can be told when I upload next. Now without further ado guys, let's dig right into this and discuss the 2025 Emmys ceremony. So before we dive into the winners and losers of the night, I did just quickly want to touch on the host of the Emmys this year, and that apparently was Nate Bargatze. I've never heard of this man. Shout out to Keke Palmer, but I've never seen that man and I've never heard of him. Apparently he's a stand-up comedian, and by all accounts he did a pretty piss poor job of hosting yesterday's Emmys ceremony. A lot of people were unimpressed by lots of the bits that he did during the ceremony, and to make matters worse, he had this awful gag that ran throughout the night where there was this massive counter that started at $100,000 that was supposed to be donated to the Girls and Boys Club of America. Again, never heard of this charity, but apparently it's a good charitable cause that would have gotten 100k if it wasn't for the caveat that for every person that went over their 45-second limit for their thank you speech, some money would be deducted from that total 100k. So that seems to be the way that Nate Bargatze and team decided to go about ensuring that no one went over their time limits for their thank you speeches after the fiasco of Adrian Brody just making a mess, just making a disaster during this year's Academy Awards ceremony. And honestly, by all accounts, this was a very, very unpopular bit. I can see why, because number one, why would you hold charity money hostage like that? That's literally such a terrible, tone deaf idea. And number two, why would you put so much pressure and anxiety on the winners of the night who are already panicking, who are already freaking out because they just won a freaking Emmy, and now they have to get up there and compose themselves and figure things out with all within 45 seconds. And if they go over that time limit, not only do they get a hiss tut tut from the producers, but they're also taking money away from kids, like taking money away from a charity, which they'll inevitably have to pay back if this whole bit is actually real. This was such a disastrous idea. I don't know which tone deaf, unrelatable person came up with it. If in fact it was Nate Bargatze, then he really truly bombed his first opportunity at hosting the Emmys. But if it wasn't, if it was someone from the Emmys team or from his team, it was a disastrous idea. And I'm not saying people should be fired. Like, I'm not saying that people should lose their jobs over this, but you know, someone needs a demotion or a slap on the wrist or something, because it was truly just a disaster. But other than that, I can't really speak to the rest of the ceremony because I didn't watch it. I was in my bed, okay? I'm not staying up until the AM hours of a Monday just for the Emmys. Please, who do they think they are? The Oscars? But otherwise, I just find out the news the day after, and guys, this time around, when I woke up in this here United Kingdom, I woke up to good news. Oh guys, if you have been around for any length of time, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with me. But second of all, you'll know that I have been doing this for numerous years, and year after year after year of covering these awards, whether it be the nominees or the ultimate winners, I have sat here with a look of disappointment. I have sat here with a look of disappointment, disinterest, anger, out and out anger oftentimes. But honestly, and it's shocking for me to say, truly, like as I'm saying this, I am truly befuddled. But you know, this time, it would seem like the Television Academy actually listened to me. Like, what? They actually listened to me. They actually did what they were told, which is their jobs, and they made some pretty good choices. Yes, they did. Now, okay, let's break this down into the main overarching categories of the Emmys, starting us off with the drama categories, where we saw a huge representation from two main shows, and that is Severance Season 2 and The Pit. The Pit Season 1. And honestly, again, I was just delighted. I was thrilled. I was so ecstatic by this news. Getting down to the acting categories, we saw Britt Laura win for Best Actress in a Drama Series, which I thought was very deserved. Very happy with that result. Although apparently she gave a shout out to her husband, who is highly problematic, and like, I had to side-eye her for that, I'm afraid. But other than that unfortunate turn of events, I was really happy about her winning for her role in the show. I think she gave an exceptional performance in season 2 of Severance. But let's face it, let's face it, the true Severance cast member that I wanted to see go home with a gold statue was none other than Tremel Tillman. Ooh, yes! Yeah, oh my goodness. I was so thrilled to see Tremel Tillman take home that award, because I thought from the very first season that he was a standout in Severance. And so the fact that he actually got rewarded for his incredible work was just really, really exciting to me. And this was actually a huge deal in terms of Emmy's history as well, because he became the first Black actor to win the award in this category of Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, which, as I often say, is a bittersweet achievement, because on the one hand, it literally could not have happened to a greater guy who gave an amazing performance in season 2 of Severance, but on the other hand, it's 2025. What do you mean we're still dealing with firsts? What do you mean? What do you mean in the 70-year history of the Emmys, no other Black actor has won in this category? That is embarrassing. That's literally humiliating, and the Television Academy should be holding their heads in shame, okay? Because this should have never been allowed to happen this far along in Emmys history. But like I said, even though Severance got some decent representation in the drama categories, for the actors, the ultimate winner of the drama categories was The Pit, and I am thrilled. I am so happy for everyone involved in that cast and crew, because The Pit really did emerge out of thin air, out of literal thin air, as one of the best shows in 2025. And considering the fact that the first episode dropped in January, it is quite an accomplishment for us to still be talking about it in that context all the way down in September. We saw Noah Weil win Best Lead Actor in a Drama Series for his role in The Pit, and I already knew that was a lock after that scene, that one scene where he was having that panic attack, that anxiety attack in the corner of that pediatric room. Yeah, I knew it was a lock. I could see that scene being played during the Emmy ceremony, and that's exactly what happened. So like, I already knew that there was a good chance he would take home that award. Not to mention, apparently he's been nominated 7 times for an Emmy, so this isn't his first time around the block, and so I was glad to see him finally take home the award for such an exceptional new role in this 2020s space. We also saw Catherine Lanassa take home the award for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, which I thought was very deserved, and also quite a feat considering all of the talent that she was up against, particularly from neighboring HBO show The White Lotus. She was able to fend off the wall of the White Lotus actresses, which again is very impressive, and I think is highly deserved, because I think she was phenomenal in the first season of The Pit. And it was quite emotional seeing the clips of her on that stage, you know, giving her thank you speech, and her husband was, you know, teary-eyed as well. And I did find out from socials that she's been through a lot, especially medical conditions in the past, which makes this moment even more meaningful. So that was really special and truly earned. And it's a shame that it was hampered by that silly little countdown. We really did not need that, and that's just one of many reasons why. So ultimately, the cast and crew of The Pit went home victorious after winning the award for Best Drama Series in 2025, and I think it was highly deserved. As I said in my reaction video to the nominees, for me it was between Paradise and The Pit for my favorite drama series, and I think having a look at the shows that had the most momentum and excitement and buzz in the industry, I think Paradise fell out of that conversation pretty quickly, but it was between The Pit and Severance, and I think the better show won. Now, speaking of industry buzz, next up we have the comedy categories where Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen dominated. Seth Rogen ate the girlies up. And honestly, I can't help but be impressed. So listen, the game was played, and the game was played well. Seth Rogen ended up taking home a whole bunch of awards for his Apple TV Plus series, The Studio, which I really enjoyed. I didn't love and adore it as much as many others, especially people in the industry, did. But I had no issues with this, winning a bunch of awards. I think another aspect of this as well was, of course, people being sick and tired of the bear. Oh, my poor bear. But yeah, people have been quite tired of the bear dominating in the comedy categories in the last couple of years, especially because some view it as a drama series rather than a comedy. And so all of that discourse has been going on, yapping in my ear. And so finally, here comes Apple TV Plus and Seth Rogen presenting audiences and the industry with a chance to root for a proper comedy, and they absolutely took that opportunity, lauding Seth Rogen with a whole bunch of awards in the comedy categories, so much so that it ended up making Emmys history itself as the comedy series to take home the most Emmys in its first season. I had to spell that out clearly. It's a very specific accomplishment, but still an accomplishment nonetheless. Now, even though The Studio won Outstanding Comedy Series overall, as well as Best Directing in Comedy Series, Best Writing in a Comedy Series, etc. and so forth, it didn't completely dominate in the acting categories for comedies, because that honor went over to Hacks season 4. Oh, listen, if this was any other year, I kind of would have rolled my eyes a little bit at seeing Jean Smart win yet another Emmy for her role in Hacks. But actually, as I said in my reaction video to the nominees, Hacks season 4 was truly exceptional, truly phenomenal. And so I do think that, this particular Emmy was deserved for Miss Deborah. Yes, it was. I was really happy to see her take home the award yet again, but even more happy, even more delighted to see that she was joined by her co-star. Finally, Hannah Einbinder took home the Emmy for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Love that for her. Love that for her. She has been consistently excellent on Hacks. And even though they've had some seasons that were better than others, she has always maintained excellent comedic timing, excellent physical performance as well. And her on-screen chemistry with Jean Smart has always been exceptional. It is the linchpin of the entire show. So the fact that it's taken this long, whole 4 seasons, for her to be recognized for her amazing work is surprising, but I'm so happy to see that she has been for the penultimate season of Hacks. And not to mention, I think her speech was also extremely inspiring, timely, and necessary. Then lastly, we have the limited series categories, which were absolutely dominated by adolescents. Rightfully so, okay? And as many people have pointed out, it seems to be becoming a bit of a tradition for these categories to be dominated by a British limited series. Listen, maybe Netflix has hit the jackpot with this little formula. I wonder what will be coming up in 2026, and if if we will see this pattern continue across the decade, like who knows? And I think it does spur on a conversation about how the UK produces these limited series, the kind of topics that they cover, but also the kind of talents that they involve, because as we see with some of the winners in these categories, the talents came from really innocuous places, like people who have never acted before, and also children children from modest backgrounds who didn't all go to the same, you know, private school that specializes in producing, you know, some of the greatest actors and musicians of all time, which is what we see a lot of here in the UK if you really look into where some of your favorite British actors came from. And so it's really wonderful to see some of this talent go against the grain in that way and be rewarded for their phenomenal work, but also some of the topics that are spotlighted through these series, like last year's Baby Reindeer, which spotlighted kind of stalking, particularly when you have a male victim, but also this year you have the rise in incel culture and how it impacts the younger generations, particularly Gen Z and perhaps even Gen Alpha, be spotlighted through adolescence. So I think this is really interesting, and of course we'll be keeping an eye out to see what limited series has the spotlight in 2026. Hopefully it'll be another British one, just because, you know, it makes me feel a bit proud and happy. Like, can you blame me? Okay, so starting us off with Best Lead Actor in a Limited Series, we saw this award go home with Stephen Graham, which absolutely deserved. I did have questions about whether Stephen Graham would count really as a lead actor, because I thought that his co-star Owen Cooper would be more the lead for this series, considering the show is literally about him. But you know, there are some rules and technicalities and policies in the handbook that I'm not privy to, and so fine, if they want to say that Stephen Graham is the lead, then cool, I have no issue with this, particularly because he still won. He still won, and he was highly deserving. Now, this did sting just a little bit because I was also rooting for Colin Farrell in The Penguin, who was just like insane. He was literally insane on that show, and literally any other year he would have taken home the award. But damn it, you know, the Brits had to come with their limited series of the year, diving into a highly politically sensitive but relevant topic that had to take home all of the awards. And so Colin Farrell was left empty-handed, even though he gave a truly Emmy deserving performance in The Penguin. So then next up we had Best Supporting Actress, which went to Erin Doherty for her role in episode 3 of Adolescence, and that was an incredible, truly amazing episode that she absolutely delivered in. She crushed that episode, and the fact that it was a one take as well. Ooh, I mean, the whole series was famously one take, but the intense scenes that she had, you know, in that room with that goddamn kid was truly just like terrifying, heartbreaking, anxiety inducing. She had a whole array of emotions on her face without, you know, overacting and over exaggerating, and it was a captivating performance for real. So again, I think that this was highly deserving of the Emmy. But then of course we move on to one of the brightest moments of the night for sure, and that was Owen Cooper himself taking home the Emmy for Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series. Just standing ovation, guys. Standing ovation. There was never any doubt. Owen Cooper gave one of the greatest performances of the entire year. Film, television, YouTube, Twitch stream included. Like, he was literally one of one on that show, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that he ultimately went home with the Emmy, and the fact that he has the distinguished honor of being the youngest male actor to win an Emmy of all time is truly awe-inspiring and deserved. Then, of course, to no one's surprise, Adolescence took home Outstanding Limited Series overall, which again, very happy with. Like, this was all in line with my plan. It's all going according It's all going according to plan. You guys don't know. Like, if you're new to this channel, you don't know and you can't appreciate just how rare it is for me to just be hitting all of these out of the park like this. But truly, this year, this time around, I kind of won. Like, I kind of won with my predictions and also with what I wanted to happen with this year's Emmys, and it is a welcome surprise for me. Now, there was one category under limited series that adolescents did not take over, and that was Best Actress in a Limited Series, which ended up going to Kristen Milioti, which I was also delighted by. Like, I literally just like won this. That's crazy. But yes, I was really happy to see Kristen take home the award for her amazing work in The Penguin. I thought that was a nice touch to sort of shake things up for the limited series categories and actually give the award to someone who was truly highly deserving, because she gave one of the best performances in any comic book adaptation I have ever seen. And whilst we're mentioning some stragglers, I did just want to shout out some miscellaneous Emmy winners that were announced in the last couple of weeks, including Rebel Ridge, which won for Best TV Movie, which was recently separated from limited series for the Emmys, as well as a huge shout out to the Queen, Beyonce. Beyonce won an Emmy for Best Costuming for the Beyonce Bowl, although ultimately she did lose the Emmy for Best Live Broadcast Show to SNL 50th Anniversary Special. So that was a bit upsetting to me, but still, she is still an Emmy winner for her work on the costumes for Beyonce Bowl. And also a huge shout out to Andor, where season 2 of the show ends up taking home 5 Emmys total, including Dan Gilroy taking home the award for Best Writing in a Drama Series, which I think is highly deserving. I've said this for many years, but Rogue One and now Andor are the best Star Wars to ever Star Wars. Like, to me, this is my favorite corner of the Star Wars franchise. I think it's the corner that's the truest to the premise of a war amongst the stars, and I think the topics that it uncovers and explores are just so much more compelling than the one storyline that we get from the Skywalker saga. So big ups to Andor. Okay, it closed off with season 2 and it was just as thrilling, compelling and politically relevant as season 1 was. And lastly, shout out to Arcane season 2, which took home the Emmy for Best Animated Series. Highly deserving, and very sad that we've gotten the final season of that show. But listen, Netflix isn't done in the animation space just yet, because just next year we should be getting the return of one of the greatest animated shows ever made in Blue-Eyed Samurai. Blue-Eyed Samurai should be coming back in 2026, and so keep an eye out. Okay, watch out for this space come this time next year, because I predict that we could be getting a very familiar set of blue eyes returning to the Emmys at that point. But until then, guys, that's it from me. Now that I told you guys my thoughts on the winners and losers of the 2025 Emmys, it's time for you guys to let me know what you thought of last night's ceremony down in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe to catch new videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.